Hi, James Mellgren here for Gourmet Business, the all-digital B2B magazine for the gourmet products industry. We're here at the Winter Fancy Food Show in San Francisco. For those of you who couldn't make it, and even for those of you who can and are here, we have some products selected here that I think are unique and special and wonderful companies, and we wanted to share some of them with you. For example, Patsys, many people may be familiar with, especially New Yorkers. It is a New York City institution located in Midtown. It's an Italian restaurant that's been there for generations. And because of their popularity and because of how good their food is, they finally succumb to their patrons' demands, and they have come out with a line of specialty products. And they're not brand new. They've been around a little while. But I think they're just getting better and better. For example, their pasta sauce, I have the marinara here, which is their biggest seller along with the basil and garlic. Terrific sauces. They really taste like what you get if you go and eat at Patsys, except you can do it in the comfort of your own home. They have a whole wheat pasta that's pretty remarkable in that it's not your typical whole wheat pasta. It's got a nice, lovely texture. You can cook it al dente even, and it doesn't have that cardboardy flavor that sometimes whole grain pastas can have. And of course, they have regular pastas, including these fusilli on steroids, as someone called them. They're just fabulous, huge, and you can just see how these would hold the sauce and be a lovely presentation at dinner time. Great company. We even have their cookbook here, Patsys Cookbook, which is filled with all kinds of recipes, all of which can use their sauces and their pastas. Terrific people. Like I said, they're an institution in New York City. If you're there sometime, be sure and eat at Patsys. But if you can't make it to Patsys, you can have Patsys at home. I have another product here. This is from Alexian. Now, Alexian is one of the premier manufacturers of pâtés, terrines. This is one of their newest. The duck liver mousse with cognac is a fabulous pâté. But what's really interesting about this one is they've got their new packaging. This one, Friday night here at the show, while it was actually over at the Ferry Plaza building, they won the Good Food Award for this. It is a totally green packaging, which is really nice because you have to have some packaging on a product like this. And they've won all kinds of certifications for the environmental impact of their packaging. And it's as good a pâté as I've ever had in this country. It reminds me of things I've only had in the countryside of France. So excellent product with excellent packaging. Very important these days. We're all familiar with ketchup, which is actually a Chinese word I've come to learn. And in Indonesia and China and throughout Southeast Asia, ketchup is just simply a sauce. Typically, it was a fish-based sauce, but it could be almost anything. Of course, the introduction of the tomato from the New World created a whole new style of this sauce, which is the one that we've come to know. These people are doing a tomato-based ketchup, but it's really special. It's delicious. They do two. They do the classic, and then they do a spicy one, which has got some chilies in it, and it's got that wonderful heat. This can be used as a dipping sauce for almost anything. Vegetables, cooked seafood, pasta. It can even be cut up vegetables and bread. I mean, almost anything. And of course, you can use it as you would use regular ketchup. Sir Kensington, it's a clever company. They have wonderful graphics, wonderful packaging, and it's a really terrific ketchup. And while we're in that realm of condiments, when we think of chutneys, we often think of India, we think of the British, but it's actually a long-standing Southern tradition, particularly in Virginia, where this aptly named Virginia Chutney Company comes from. They do a whole line of delicious chutneys made with the local fruit and vegetables that grow near their farm in Virginia. This is one of their original ones, but one that they've just come back out with. They were having trouble getting the product for a while, and now they've got good steady sources, and they've come out with their green tomato chutney, which is just fabulous on anything from scrambled eggs to spicy Asian dishes to almost anything. And I love their chutneys on cheese. I'm a big cheese person. I write about cheese. I love cheese. And I think chutneys are a splendid accompaniment. It's a classic ingredient in a typical plowman's lunch. But for a cocktail party, just to put a little bit of this out with some good farmhouse cheddar, great stuff. Virginia chutney. There's a lot of products at this show that take classic, old-fashioned, for lack of a better term, foods and update them with good ingredients, but yet going back to some of the original techniques used to make these foods. Here's a good example. McClures Pickles. McClure is from Michigan. In fact, that's where the manufacturing takes place. But he relocated to Brooklyn several years ago, which is where he sort of got the idea of doing this. So sort of Michigan meets Brooklyn, and he does these pickles, which are very simple, traditionally made, and just fantastic. These are the garlic ones. He also does some spicy ones. They're just fantastic pickles, and they're real old-fashioned pickles. I mean, you almost expect them to be coming out of a pickle jar. Great stuff. Again, going back to the traditional methods to update something that's been, there's a lot of pickles out on the market, and some of them are very good, and some of them are not so very good. These are great. Highly recommend them. Nothing but good natural ingredients in there. This is an interesting product. They call them dessert crackers. Slims. They take basically what classic dessert items and make them into crackers. This one is their banana bread, which it tastes like a really good banana bread, except it's been sort of dehydrated down into a cracker. So they're brilliant for cheese, all kinds of condiments, or just for snacks, or, as the name would imply, for dessert. They also do a cranberry one, a cranberry nut one, which is really delicious. Again, sort of has a holiday flavor to it, like a really good fruit cake, but as a cracker. And they've just launched, they don't even have the packaging for it yet, but they've just launched now a chocolate one, which is made with no eggs, which is also nice for some people that have egg allergies, but really delicious. Cocoa flavor, high quality cocoa, but without a real cloying sweetness. So again, they'd be great for dessert, but also with condiments, parties. Here's a new product from one of our favorite companies, Bird Cookie Company. I've taken this out of the packaging here. It's a line of cookies with frosting that you decorate yourself. Now, I've decorated this one and made it out to my grandson, but you can decorate them any way you want. They come with pens. They've got a variety of colors of pens with these little cookies. They're actually very, very good cookies, which is something that some of the people that have done this before have missed. And they do a variety of shapes, so you can decorate Easter egg cookies, you can do hearts for Valentine's Day or for birthdays or anything. Very clever idea. Bird Cookie Companies, they do wonderful packaging, and they come up with a lot of clever ideas for cookies and other little sweets. Great little item. Great for special occasions, holidays, or just for kids to have fun. I mean, something to do after school. Decorate your own cookies, take them to school. Very fun idea. Here's one of our favorite companies at the show. In fact, they were a neighbor of ours at the show. Tonic is an old-fashioned, it's a brand new old-fashioned tonic water made with real quinine, filtered carbonated water. It's a very simple product, but again, going back to traditional methods of manufacturing to create a product that is devoid of all the high fructose corn syrup, the artificial flavors, all the stuff that goes into most commercial tonics these days. So, as they like to say, a typical gin and tonic is about 70% tonic and 30% gin. So it's amazing to me that people don't put more care in the kind of tonic they use when there's that much of it in their drink. So again, highly recommended. Q Tonic, great stuff for today's, for today's imbibers. I've got one more product here, another close neighbor of ours. This guy's been around for a little while, but a very innovative product, great packaging. Porta Manjari is a series of these canisters that contain all the spice ingredients you need to do a series of classic Italian sauces. This one's for the calabrese meatball mix. So all you have to do is add that egg and a little milk and the meat and mix it all together and make the balls. It's really great seasonings. Now when you finish with these things, they taste like, well, if I'd had a grandmother who was Italian, I'm sure that her meatballs would have tasted like this. As it is, my wife makes pretty fantastic meatballs, and it's a lot of effort that goes into it. This makes it so simple, consistently good too. When you're having a dinner party and you want it to taste good from party to party when you have people back, this kind of codifies these Italian recipes into a really easy to use mix. Great stuff. I have one last product here. Old acquaintance of mine, Bruce Cost, probably knows more about ginger than anybody in this country. He wrote a seminal book on ginger in the 80s that's been reprinted a couple of times, hopefully to be coming back out soon. And he's finally launched this product, Bruce Cost's Ginger Ale. It is what every soda should be. It's made from fresh ingredients, simple filtered water. And the soda itself is unfiltered, as you can see. There's lots of little bits of ginger in there, which lets you know in a minute that this is made from real ginger, real fresh ginger too. And he's a nut about ginger, so the flavor of this stuff is it's just so fresh and refreshing. I just love it. I think ginger ale is one of the best accompaniments to food too, because it's a natural digestif. It's a great thing. It's great to mix with alcohol for cocktails. Really great product. And again, a simple product that's around everywhere. Ginger ale can be bought in any deli, but this has gone back to the roots of ginger ale. So it's a clean, refreshing drink that's actually quite healthful and without any of the bad stuff. So that's what we look for at the Fancy Food Show. We're really looking for products that are true to their origins but fit into today's lifestyle. So people that don't want high fructose corn syrup, don't want all the chemicals and the artificial flavors. That's what a lot of people at this show are doing, bringing out products that are not necessarily new products, just done with integrity the way they were 100 years ago. We hope you all manage to make it to the next Fancy Food Show. We'll see you all in Washington, D.C. next summer. And we'll be doing this again, and we'll have a whole new batch of products to share with you. So if you can't make it to the show, be sure and tune in, and we will share the products with you, and we'll see you online. Thanks for coming.